Alright, so I just left the hospital. It is 6:02 p.m. on Wednesday. Ann Barrett is still in the fight. She got moved from one room to the other, which I don't understand all the protocols, but apparently she's been in the hospital for 21 days. And after that amount of time, you don't have COVID anymore. I honestly stopped trying to figure the whole thing out. Whatever part of the virus is transmittable, they moved her from one room to the other. So I wore the gown, gloves, and this mask, and I didn't have to put the N95 on. That was the only difference in that experience. So I don't think they understand either. Like, because the girl, one of the nurses that Antoinette had also, she's trying to explain it and she couldn't really explain either. She got moved. She's still on the ventilator, on heavy sedation. Heavy sedation. The PEEP, there's two numbers that we pay attention to, the PEEP and the amount of oxygen. It did go up from yesterday. However, her blood pressure is also up because she's on a different medication. So yesterday, this fear was her heart. Today, we're trying to get more oxygen in her body. So it's very complicated. She's older, but she is still in the fight. I held her hands are warm. She's still in the fight. So we prayed. I played her one of her favorite songs. I just talked to her, told her everything's okay. We're all doing good. And hopefully she has a nice night. She'll have a new nurse at 7 p.m. So they do their shift change. She sits in the hospital. They moved her 2 rooms away from Antoinette, where Antoinette was. There's a bunch of empty beds in the ICU. There was one guy in there, he was trying to get out of his bed. So when they kept saying that people get anxious and aggravated on COVID, I can kind of see why. Unless this guy was in, but they have to all have COVID on that floor because they wouldn't put other people in that ICU. So he was COVID too, but he didn't have the face mask on. But he was trying to get out of the bed and break out, where 2 cops came into the ICU. So there's all kinds of stuff these nurses have to deal with. I don't think anyone has any clue what it means to be a nurse nowadays. You don't take the vaccine, they'll fire you. And then you have to deal with people that are tied up in a bed that don't want your medical treatment. And then they have to fight this COVID that no one knows what it is. One of the girls said why she's so good at her job this year is because last year they were just practicing a lot. This is what she said out of her mouth. She said, you get good at this. I've been doing it for a long time. So when COVID first came, no one knew what it was. There was definitely a different rate of recovery. But there was still a bunch of people that never got sick. You know, the statistics of fatalities on COVID was always less than 1%. Always. It was never over that. It was 0% here for a long time. It was it was like 0.05 or 0.02% of this surrounding area that you would catch COVID and die. And that's how rare my wife was. My wife was that rare. I understand that. She was a gem. So being a 1%er in your life, certain things is awesome. But then being a 1%er in other things, you gotta be specific on what 1% you want to be in. I mean, she didn't ask to be in the second 1%, but who knew? She was rare, that's all I know. There's other families that go visit their loved ones. We just pray over them. The hospital staff is incredible, though. I gotta say it again, Anula Valley Hospital. A bunch of incredible people. Out of the bottom of their heart, they take care of these people that lay in the bed with tubes hanging out of their face to keep them alive. And these people love them like their own family. They clean them, they bathe them, they flip them, they rub them, they put the lotions on, comb the hair, brush the teeth. They administer the medicine, make make sure the pillow is right. There's a lot of little things that goes into being a nurse. So I hope you learned something from today's video. I don't know. This is COVID 2021. What an experience to live through. Very grateful for this experience. I used to ask God for character building. I used to not think I had enough. I was like, I want a character. Something that would make me tough. And I get stuff like this to happen in my life. Toughens you up. That's for sure. I know people that would fold under this whole thing. They'd be cowered up in the corner crying like a baby, peeing in their pants. But I know that such times as pointed as this, you get power to do certain things that you normally couldn't do, and I feel that I have that power right now. If you asked me if I could go through this a year ago, I'd probably say, no way, you're out of your mind. But right now, I'm living through it. I'm telling you right now that the peace that surpasses all